You know, people talk a lot about setting financial goals, managing expenses, and investing wisely. Something we don't talk enough about is how our past and, or specifically our childhood, influences our relationship with money today. You see, our story with money didn't start when we got our first job or credit card. It actually began long before then. It started in our childhood homes, where we observed our parents and absorbed their behaviors and mindsets around money. In this video, I want to delve into an intriguing concept known as emotional inheritance, and how it shapes our financial lives as adults. I'll also give you some tips on breaking the cycle if you find yourself trapped in it. So let's get into it. Money's emotional. It touches every aspect of our lives. Since our childhood is the period of maximum emotional development, it's crucial to understand how our early experiences influence who we become financially. The decisions we make, whether it's a small purchase or a major investment, are greatly influenced by the emotions associated with money. And these emotions, believe it or not, are often inherited from our parents. For instance, if you grew up with a parent who always worried about money, you may have developed a fear of discussing finances. Or if your family always had enough, you might have a carefree attitude towards spending. These behaviors aren't things we consciously chose. Instead, we learn them through observing our parents and the dynamics within our family. Now, here's the interesting part. We don't just pick up our parents' financial behaviors. We also adopt their feelings and attitudes towards money. Maybe you notice your mom getting upset over small expenses, or your dad making jokes about money. These behaviors, though subtle, leave an impression on us and shape our perception of money, often without us even realizing it. When it comes to emotional inheritance, money is like a magnifying glass. It amplifies the behaviors and emotions present in our childhood homes. Now, don't get me wrong, this isn't anyone's fault. It's just how human brains work. As kids, we're like sponges, soaking up everything around us. And when it comes to money, our young minds interpret everything based on what we see and hear. If our parents argue a lot about finances, we might think that money is something scary or dangerous, something that causes fights and stress. On the other hand, if we grow up seeing our parents make wise financial decisions and plan for the future, we might develop a positive view of money and understand its importance. Let me tell you a personal story. Growing up, I used to see my mom constantly worrying about money. Cutting out coupons to save a few cents and getting upset over small expenses. My dad, on the other hand, worked hard to provide for us, but he never really talked to us about money. Looking back, I realized that this silence about money added to my mom's anxiety because she felt solely responsible for managing our finances. This atmosphere of constant worry made me extremely anxious about money too. However, after I became an adult and started working, I realized that my anxiety wasn't necessary. I had a stable job, a comfortable salary, and the ability to manage my finances responsibly. It was at that moment that I understood that I was carrying a lot of emotional baggage from my childhood. My story is just one of many. And if you're going through this too, know that you're not alone. It's important to remember that emotional inheritance isn't just about our childhood experiences. It's also about the messages we received, both verbal and nonverbal, about how we should feel and act regarding money. For example, if a parent says things like money doesn't grow on trees, or we can't afford that, we might internalize those statements as rules. This can lead us to feel guilty when we spend money, believing that we're doing something wrong. In extreme cases, this emotional inheritance can manifest as a fear of poverty or an obsession with hoarding money. Some people become so afraid of experiencing financial instability that they start hoarding money, even if it means sacrificing their own happiness and well-being. Others might find themselves constantly seeking financial security, believing that it's the only way to achieve true happiness and stability. Emotional inheritance can also affect how we relate to others when it comes to money. If we grow up hearing our parents fighting over finances, we might develop a fear of discussing money with others, believing that it leads to conflict. Or if we come from a family where money is never discussed, we might find it difficult to ask for what we're worth or to negotiate for better conditions. So what can we do about emotional inheritance? First, we need to acknowledge its existence and understand that our childhood, experiences, and the messages we received have shaped our current beliefs and behaviors regarding money. Remember, this isn't anyone's fault. It's just the way our minds work. Next, we need to observe our thoughts and emotions surrounding money. Are we constantly worried, anxious, or fearful? Do we feel guilty when we spend money? Understanding our emotional connection with money is the first step towards changing it. Another crucial step is to take responsibility for our actions. Instead of blaming our parents or external factors, we need to recognize that we are the ones who choose how to respond to our experiences and emotions. Remember, we're not our thoughts. We can choose which thoughts to pay attention to and which to let go of. And finally, let's focus on building a positive relationship with money. Let's replace negative thoughts and emotions with positive ones. Replace money as evil with money as a tool. Replace rich people are greedy with hard work, and smart choices can lead to wealth. Cultivate gratitude for the financial situation you have now, whatever it may be. Gratitude is a powerful emotion that can transform our perspective on money and abundance. Remember, it's a journey, not a destination. Be patient with yourself and celebrate every small victory along the way. Cultivating a healthy relationship with money starts with self-awareness, taking responsibility, and choosing to cultivate positive emotions and thoughts. It's not about becoming wealthy or accumulating material possessions, but rather finding inner peace and security. So take the time to understand your emotional inheritance, heal old wounds, and rewrite your own financial story. And remember, you're not alone on this journey. Reach out to friends, family, or professionals for support and guidance. Together, you can create a brighter financial future. Children's financial education goes beyond simply teaching them to count money or understand basic transactions. It's about planting seeds that will grow into a healthy and balanced relationship with money as they grow up. It's a process that should begin in the earliest years of childhood and continue throughout their lives. As parents and educators, we have the responsibility to nurture this relationship by providing children with the emotional and practical tools they need to navigate the world of money with confidence and responsibility. This includes teaching them to differentiate between needs and wants, to understand the value of saving, and to make informed financial decisions. However, this education must be adapted to the child's developmental stage. Young children learn best through play and repetition. So using games and everyday experiences to teach financial concepts can be very effective. As they grow older, they can take on more responsibilities like a small allowance or a part-time job, which will help them understand the value of work and delayed gratification. But perhaps most importantly, children learn by example. What they see their parents and teachers do will have a much greater impact on their financial habits than any lecture or lesson. That's why it's so important to model the behaviors we want to see in our children. Show them how to manage your own finances responsibly, and talk to them openly and honestly about money. By instilling good financial habits in childhood, we're not just preparing them for the future, we're shaping their present. It's an investment that will pay off in the long run. Don't forget, you don't have to do this alone. There are many resources available to help you teach your children about money in an age-appropriate and engaging way. So let's start early, be patient and consistent, and watch as our children grow into financially responsible and independent adults. Remember, the greatest gift we can give our children is not money itself, but the knowledge and skills they need to manage it wisely. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you found it insightful, please leave a comment below and share it with your friends and family. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos. Have a wonderful day.